I wouldn't really say, I planned on, doing all them things, but I did, if I got my chance, I did plan on executing, just executing touchdowns. I didn't plan on it being, me doing this, doing that, but I really didn't plan on it, but I have to give credit to my, my line and my receivers because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have had the day that I had today.
Seems like the game kind of slowed down for you a bit today, as opposed to when we saw you launch the very first game of the year. Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah,
Well?
yeah, a lot. The game really slowed down for me, and that has a lot to do with my coaches. Explaining a lot to me. In practice, telling me what I need to do and different reads and different checks and stuff like that. They really slowed the game down for me, so that really was helpful.
Talk to you about, a couple plays I noticed, passes were kind of just this close, from big gains, or a touchdown to Tyler Allen or a, big pass in the middle of the field. Talk about how you adjusted off of those.
The way I really adjusted off of those were, obviously, me personally, I felt like, I overthrew him. I got to get it to him. Big plays like that we have to make. We have to make those kind of plays when we get those opportunities. But, the way that I adjusted to that and, came back off the, from the sideline was I'm just like, okay, forget about that play, move on. You can't dwell on that or it's going to mess up your next series. So I was just like, okay, you got to forget about that. Next time you get the opportunity, just make it. And that's how, I thought after. I was pretty upset about it. I was like, okay. But at a certain point, you just got to forget about it and move on to the next play.
Those ball routes, do you have a second gear that you kind of kick into? Do you have a second, you got to speed up when you hit the secondary? What do you on a 70-yard run? What's the trick to making sure that gets to the end zone?
Well, when I see an opening, I'm thinking, yeah, I have to hit a second gear in order to get through that hole. So I see it and I just hit it, and I'm just running straight. I'm not looking back. I'm just running. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Anthony, I want to go to that big goal line stand you guys had in the first half. You made a big tackle on second down, and then Pat O'Connor comes and makes a big sack on third down. How much are you guys feeding off each other, kind of elevating each other's play?
Well, whenever either one of him or I makes a play, we've been roommates ever since freshman year, so like you see your buddy do something great, you're like, all right, well, I got to do something better. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how we like feed off of each other, or at least from my aspect. Whenever he makes a play or Hunter makes a play, I'm like, well, I'm not going to go back to the house without my play. So that's how we feed off of each other, because we always talk about it when we go back home. Bragging rights, I guess.
Talk about the mindset, you had after that flag. Once they came back and reviewed it and said, okay, it wasn't targeting. Did that kind of like light a fire under you again to kind of have that spark?
Honestly, no, because I've like from last week. Last week I really thought I was gone, so I was like really upset. But bringing to this week, I honestly think it was the same play. I knew it wasn't targeting, so I knew I was coming back in the game. So, I just made a little joke out of it on the field. I was like, "Yo, sorry boys, like got to step out the office for a play, just come back in." So everybody's laughing, just like took the heat off of it kinda. And once they reviewed it, I just came right back in.
Your coach said earlier that you made a transition from outside to inside linebacker. How difficult and how easy has that been for you so far?
The most difficult thing has been the pass drops. Three dropper. I'm a two dropper. I think that has been the most difficult part. Just transitioning my eyes from run to pass and getting my drops. That's been the hardest part.
And what's been the smoothest transition for you?
I love reading like the guards, and it just comes more natural to me. I think, like reading the guards to the back, and it's just the flow of the game for me inside is a lot easier.
Reggie, that touchdown pass you had to David Gibson in the corner there, is that like a timing play you guys have worked on together, or was that just you just felt like you had him on that play?
Well, in practice we work on fades a lot. Going against the corners, we work on fades a lot. But again, I think it's that connection that that us like all the quarterbacks have with the receivers. Just repping that over and over in practice, and practicing the fade concept, and if we have it, take it. I think that was like a connection in a way, and we knew, okay, when we see this, you know, we're going to go to a phase. So I think, yeah, it was a connection that we had.
Did you get a sense at all that we rattled their defense a little bit with that big first run coming out of halftime?
A little bit, maybe a little bit, yeah, because they started changing up their defensive scheme and trying to contain me. And then once that happened, then, you know, the run started opening up for Ryan Brumfield and everything. So they were getting kind of rattled and frustrated and looking at their sideline like, what do we do? So once I got that sense, I was like, we got them. And so we just had to keep on pushing, you know, just keep our foot on their throat.
Yeah, off that, I remember back at Morgan State, you know, you guys were up big at halftime, and I feel like I think your coach said that, you know, once you got into the locker room, you felt like you had this in the bag. But like you just said, you got to stomp on their throat. Has that been a learning experience for you then?
Yeah, that's been a huge learning experience for me. You know, for example, when we were up, I'm just like, okay, we can't have a repeat of Morgan State. So I just kept preaching to the guys on the sideline, you know, keep your foot on their throat, keep your foot on your throat, and just keep on pushing. We want more. Be hungry. And then a lot of guys, you know, were spreading it down the sideline, and then that's why, like, our whole sideline was getting rallied up. And I think that's what kind of helped us, too, you know. The people on the sideline, you know, rallying us up, you know, on the sideline cheering for us. So, yeah, I think that was a big learning experience for me from the first game.